Welcome to ADHD UnMasked, a real, honest podcast that's all about my journey from breakdown to breakthrough. Thanks for listening. Hello and welcome back to ADHD UnMasked. This is my second episode, Forced to Be Still. Thank you for stopping by and joining me in my journey of breakdown to what we hope is breakthrough. It's been a week since my previous podcast, and I've titled this Forced to Be Still because I feel like I and we hide in noise because silence shows us who we are, and that's done that for me. So I hope you enjoy. It's been a week since my mask came off. My wife is at work, my daughter's at school, and the house is deathly silent. No alcohol, no gambling, no distractions, just me, my thoughts, and the hum of anxiety that never switches off, and trust me, it's a hum. My mum and my wife keep checking in to see if I'm okay, and mum, bless her, she's been brilliant. She calls and texts throughout the day. Sometimes she pops in with food, making sure I've eaten, something that I've been struggling to do. And my wife has been holding all the structure in place. The bills, the school run, the small things, and important things that I used to think that I had under control, which I never did, and she's maintained that still. It's love and care I don't always know how to accept, but I do feel it. And unfortunately, can't reciprocate. I hand my mum and my wife whatever money I can because right now I don't trust myself with it. And that sentence really hurts to write in my blog and to say in this podcast. That little money I do make comes from selling what I already own. Clothes, electricals, I've sold my bike. I've gone through old clothes of my daughters and my own and my wife's, and I put them on selling platforms. Each bill's whisper is in the back of my mind, constantly shaping everything I do, and survival has become louder than recovery. I've only left the house 2 or 3 times, and to post the items I've sold, and that's it. It kind of feels like a big deal, but it's not. But the idea of bumping into someone I know fills me with shame. It sits heavy, like a weight I can't hide. Home feels like a paradox, both a prison and protection. It's really strange. I just keep pacing from room to room, trying to find some form of distraction. I've built and set up 3 companies and done nothing with it. Sometimes I sit and the emotion bubbles to boiling, and I've developed this itch. And it happens during this time, and it's never happened before. It provides me, I guess, with a release of the emotional pain, frustration and stress that's building inside of me. But please don't panic, it's not self-harm. I'm not damaging myself. It's just an uncomfortable way, and my body's way of, I guess, trying to release something and that my mind can't. It's the kind of relentlessness that makes stillness feel unbearable. And as it closes nearer to night time, the fear of having to be completely still starts to build up around 7, 8 o'clock. And when I finally lay in my bed, my brain turns up the noise. My head loops through figures, dates, debts, endless calculations that punish me for even trying, to rest and sit still, emotions I've broken. And that thought of my family and the guilt and the pain I've caused and the fear that I might never fully rebuild those bonds again. Sleep feels like something I have to earn, but no matter how exhausted I am, my body refuses to switch off. Earlier in the week, I made contact with my doctor and mental health team. It was more like a moment where the weight finally tipped. I told them how bad things had got, how the noise never stops, how I can't trust myself for money or even my own thoughts some days. They've agreed to start my medication again, though it might take a little while before everything's properly sorted because the shared care program needs to restart. It's strange, something I once pushed away now feels like the one thing that might help me hold it all together. I've been rationing my Elvance medication for my ADHD from what's left of my prior failed attempts, just enough to take the edge off each day. But I'm finding that very difficult, and of course there are some side effects that aren't nice. It doesn't fix anything, but it softens the sharpness. It makes the silence slightly less loud. Strangely, the phone call I made after the healthcare professionals was to a debt solution company about the possibility of an IVA. And this felt even harder. The irony that, and not even the irony, I guess the stupidity that taking care of my finances felt a heavier chore and task than taking care of my mind. Maybe that's because for so long money was how I measured my worth. Losing it meant losing control. And admitting that out loud, it hurts. More than I expect and expected in that call. I explained everything. The missed payments, the gambling, the money I took from my family. Felt like peeling off another layer of pride with every confession that I made. Pride that was false. And when I hung up, I just sat there in silence, half relieved, half ashamed, wondering how something so practical could feel so personal. Explaining everything to my doctor, my mental health support worker, and the debt solutions group felt like standing inside a triangle of exposure. My cards were now on the table. Everything was out in the open. And I'm sure people outside the triangle know as well. Every confession pulled another thread loose. And by the end of it, I just felt stripped of any armour I had left. It wasn't just financial exposure, it was emotional. Each truth felt like admitting to another version of myself I didn't want to face, but somehow within that same triangle there was also the faintest outline of hope. 3 corners of accountability that might eventually help me rebuild. Now I'm in this strange in-between, not fixed, not failing, just waiting. There's a quiet that follows those kinds of conversations, the kind that isn't peaceful but hollow. I'm still doing the same things each day. Pacing, tidying, trying to focus. But everything feels slower, heavier. It's hard. The people I've allowed in at the moment keep me grounded in small ways. Messages from mum, reminders from my wife, the steady rhythm of their care. They don't treat me like a child, but that's how it feels sometimes. Being looked after by 2 people I've let down hugely. There are others yet to face, family still waiting for closure and understanding, turning my triangle of exposure into an octagon. A shape that, as we all know, is built for a fight. And that's exactly what it feels like inside me. It's not pity, it's love, but it still burns. My mask used to be my armour. I wore it even when I was falling apart, convincing everyone, including myself, that I was fine. And now it's gone, lying somewhere between the person I pretended to be and the one I'm still trying to find. Losing it has been humiliating, but maybe that's the point, right? What's left underneath isn't strength or confidence, it's someone learning again. I guess it's someone starting to learn. Learning to show I can be trusted, to be present, learning to let people help without feeling like a burden. Each one of those does feel like a small step in shoes that really don't quite fit. But maybe that's what recovery is? I'm not sure. Trying to walk again when every step it hurts and it's hard. But even as I try, that noise does not leave me. It sits like somewhere behind my eyes. It's hard to explain. That restless electric hum that never switches off. I can even hear a ring in my ear. Some days it feels like my brain is still addicted to chaos, even though I'm trying to live in calm. My body wants rest, but my mind keeps reaching for movement, for the next fix or distraction, the next reason to escape myself. It's exhausting. Trying to stay still while everything inside me just wants to run. Sometimes I feel myself, it's just a detox that my mind and body are adjusting to a quiet life after years of chaos and addictions of alcohol and gambling. That the restlessness, the noise, the crawling under my skin are all just symptoms that will pass if I wait it out. But deep down I know it's more than that. It's not just my body learning to cope without the chaos and addiction. It's my mind realising there's nothing left to hide behind. The silence isn't healing me yet. It's exposing me. The quiet is not peaceful. It's confrontational. It presses down on me until I can feel it in my bones. It's heavy, patient, unrelenting. It's like the stillness has teeth, and I am that thing that it's chewing on. Every hour alone feels like a round in that octagon I built for myself, a fight between who I was and who I'm trying to become. There's no audience, no opponent, just me swinging at midair, trying to land something that feels like progress. So after a few of days of circling the same thoughts, I started to look through the online resources my doctor had sent over. Links about ADHD, recovery and managing compulsive behaviour. Things I'd totally ignored before because I was too proud and just blocked it out. This time I've actually looked at them. I made contact with a fantastic agency called Change, Grow, Live. And I've reached out to them and they have signposted me to a group to attend next week online and a one-to-one. Typing the initial message to the support worker on the website was absolutely frightening. Anxiety that was unmeasurable. But when I hit that send button, my shoulders dropped slightly. Something changed. The follow-up call was even more frightening. I watched the phone ring, knowing it was the person wanting to discuss plans and progress, and I must have let it ring for a minute. I quickly tapped answer, and now confirmed on the 26th of November I'll meet my lead contact for Change, a date parked in a place I'll deal with nearer the time. And of course, as I mentioned, a support group that I am to attend online. A kick down the curb moment, but living in that space in my brain. And the thought of having to eventually face these without a mask, joining people who've experienced what I have, and they'll see through me immediately, I promise you, it makes me physically sick. It's strange, after everything I've been through, this feels like one of the hardest steps yet. Not because of the group itself coming up, but because the very reason I'm going to be in this situation is to discuss the things I don't want to speak about, but have to. Writing my blog for this episode and talking about it now is not easy, but it has become a place where I can completely be honest without fear or performance, and it does feel cathartic. It's where the noise quietens just enough for me to hear myself think. And maybe that's why I keep doing this, not to fix anything, but to record the moments where I stop running and start facing what's real. And I'm hoping if I keep writing this, I'll start to see the real me, the person without the mask. Thank you for listening. And episode 3, I'll update on how the support groups go. I hope you enjoyed it, and do let me know if you would like to leave any feedback or get in touch, because I want this to be about supporting myself, but also hopefully bringing others along the journey to support me and me to support them. Thank you.